Hello, my name is James Lopez, and this is another Python program that I use to send myself emails on the processes of these process workflows. Whenever I'm doing any projects, I always send myself, especially production, send myself the email. So this is an example of how to send an email from your computer based on some information that you you need to be looking at. Usually, a result of a text file or some attachments. And so anyway, let's get through it right here. So I created that back in 2013, but I've been updating it. So this is setting up your modules. Straightforward. This is setting up your modules for the email, which is HTML. Timestamp. If you see my other videos, I always have a timestamp. Everything I do is timestamp, date and timestamp. This is the path to everything. This is the image file that's going to go into the body. So not an attachment, but show you how to do. You might not need that, so you can take that out. But this is how this email format that I'm going to show you does it all. It does everything. So you don't need to use it, just delete it. But I'm going to run it through you. This is the text file, log file that I use, and that has some information. Then I go in there and I open it, write to it, then close. Usually I just this line. I usually just write this line to that file, and it has a bunch of lines in there from the previous ones. So it's just kind of like a rolling information that it writes the text file in there. It writes this right there with the timestamp. So I have it in there just to make sure that it runs. I look at it every now and then. But anyway, that's just for error catching, just in case it didn't run. I say, oh, it didn't run. It didn't create this. It bombed somewhere. So username and password is Gmail, straightforward. The email address is straightforward. You have the from, you have email to, who you're sending it to, and any CCCs. The thing about it is kind of misleading, because what happens is over here, if you look at this, it adds it all to two, so there's really not a CC. So just in case, setting up the server. This is how you access the server, so you can send the emails. This sets up again, it joins it up and sets up your email to who you're going to send it to. This adds it to the add to. This is how you start to define the body and attachments. Now this is part of the business end of the email, and this is the top statement. The Python program to delete Gmails has, completed. In other words, and you'll see how I wrote that. You'll see it once I show you the email. And you add. So this is equals, and you add to this, you add to that. Because actually, when you look at just this, all it is one complete line. Yes. And I had that written one time on a text file, and then I used to take it back and put it on the program. But I had this friend of mine who came in, and this person was a pretty good programmer. He said, "No, you can cut it up. Just keep adding to it." So I just wanted to thank the person. Thank you, because it made it a lot easier to. So what I do is, although this is pretty long, that's just one piece, right? And like if you go down here again, right? It's kind of long, but it's one part of it, and it's a line on the email. So I'll show you that. So this is, my name plus, my position, title, my department, entity name, name of the department, and name of the company. Address, city, state, zip, phone number, and, my email. Whatever the email is. You put it right there. Whatever your email is, you put it there. And this is the image. So this is where I bring the image. It'll bring it in. right? These are web links. Right here is your business web link, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you don't need it, all you do is come in here and comment out or delete it, however you want. It doesn't matter. My point is that if you got that, there was where you put it. This is a wingding narrative. I was copying the entity that had a wingding in there, and I'm like, oh, well, I got to figure that out. So, we got the wingdings in there, and I'll show you that. And then this is the disclaimer at the bottom, right? Encode everything as HTML. We're going to open up the image, and we're going to we're going to read the image to the header. And this is the business part of the attachments. So I put a little here, attention, you either use this one or the one below it. This is one, this is many, right? So this one's just a text file, just one. This one right here, this took me a little bit, a while to figure out, but it's fine. So hard coded because we're running it today. So this right here is what you would do if you would have it. Everything is stamped today, right over here. But these are all hard coded because I just use examples. So if it's something that's just, like the JPEGs or the Word document, stuff like or PDF, it wasn't created today, you hard code it. This text file was created the same day I was running the email program. So I grabbed it now, since it's today, I had to hard code it because today is one day after. And this is the loop. This is the business end of the loop. So they're not the same, so you have to pay attention. For text, you do this. For PDF documents and CVS, you do this one, and then that one. And what it does, it just grabs it from the list here. For for every file, because it'll go one at a time. It'll go and hit the first one, go in here, hit the second. So this is how you do it, and attaches it. Then you send it. So let me show you in the example to the right. Here it is. So this is the image on the body. To show you where the image is. So now this is the business end on there. And right here, these are the attachments. So this is the JPEG, the PDF, text file, CVS file, Word document. They all work. You might not need all of them. You might need some of them. But if you need to put in here, okay, so let's go back over here. It doesn't matter how many you have. You can have 10 or 15. Although it would be a lot. You can put it all in here. And, there's others, right? It might not be a CVS file. It might not be a text file or a JPEG. It might be a video. I haven't done video. Although you can't really send video on emails because they're always too big. But there's different images, not just JPEG, PNG, TIFFs, etc. You put them all in here because they're all going to use, right, the same format right here. Because everything is, you got to change that, so you have to put that as a variable. Because right here, if it's JPEG, you would say, okay, if it's JPEG, put this or whatever. It just depends. You might put an if statement and say, if it's JPEG, use this, and this will be a lot longer. But I'm only using one. So in other words, this code would need to be updated to reference different image styles, images that you have. Since this is just JPEG, I don't have PNG. So anyway, that's there. So you come over here, and so this is, so let's go through. So this is the first part, right? And you can see it's HTML bold with larger font bold, but in red. The Python program to delete the Gmail email has completed. That's all HTML code. You can do whatever you want. This is just regular. Process stopped. Timestamp. That's my name. So your title, department, entity name, address, city, state, zip, phone number, and the email. So what that does is that you click on that, and you can, instead of sit and return, you can hit it here, however you want. So that's the email. These are the Facebooks, so you can see website, Facebook, the website meaning your company, then Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if you got those. Then that's the Wingding right here. And that's one that you can see a whole lot better. It's kind of small here, but it's a Wingding. And then please consider environment, blah, blah, blah. And then that's the narrative to that. So that all works. And that's the image. And if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Usually what I do is, I'm just going to give you an example here. I run a bat file. Say, for example, I got several programs that I'm running, and say if it's a set like this one, you can see I have this is the one I run for. This is an old one, but just an example. So this is open close. Okay, so this open close right here, what was happening with that is that I would run on Outlook. I come in and it didn't get them all. Or the thing about it is that you didn't open it to get the new emails. So what I had to do was, it's an open and close email. So, you got to go ahead and run that. So I got a Python program does that, and I'm going to put it on there. It's the open and close right here. And what that does is, it's a def. So if it's not open, and then kill, right? See right here, it just says I'll wait 120 minutes. So timestamp. In other words, I'm opening and I'm waiting 120 minutes, right, to make sure all the emails come in. And then after that, I'm closing it. But if it's already open, I'm closing, right? That's how that goes. In other words, I don't need to wait because it was already open. You can run it while it's open, but I didn't want to. So anyway, that's what that does, right? And then I'm running this one, which is Outlook. Then I'm running this one, which is Gmail, right? And then if you want, I use this. You can sit right here, and also since my email is different, that's where you would put your email. You would say, okay, I'm going to run the email now, and if it's already set, it'll create that email and send it. I do that to all. In other words, I don't go to since this is a scheduled task, I don't go in there and say, oh, hit this and then hit this program. I just hit a bat file. This handles it all of it. So you got the where your Python program's at and where your Python is at. Real straightforward. And I use this all the time to do all of mine. So this opens and closes, deletes, and right here, send email. So that's how that goes. And this is the program to open and close Outlook on my computer. And since I have Outlook, I have my Gmail and everything like that. It's real beneficial because I had everything. I had 4 emails, 4 email addresses. It runs it through, and the other 3 I don't have. The other 2 I only do it on 2. One, my delete process. The other 2 are just there for some other information to barely gets in any information. But my main Outlook and my main Gmail, I go in there and I run my Python programs. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, and other than that, share it, and have a good day. Bye.